All right, guys, today we are in something really different. If you notice, this is not a Commodore or a Falcon. This is something that I am extremely foreign to. I am not from the world of Bentleys and Rolls Royces and things like that. This is a car that, to me, is, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy that I have gotten to drive one of these, and I don't even know where to start. There is so many things about this car which is extremely cool, and I'm going to just talk about the positives and negatives of a car like this. But before I do that, if I think back to my childhood and watching Top Gear and watching the three blokes talk about the cars and go on their trips across the country, and this is what that car reminds me of, because this was... this is a 2004 Bentley Continental GT, a twin-turbo W12 that makes a ridiculous amount of power, but it is quite heavy. This is one of those cars that not only would I never see, but I would never get a chance to drive. And so I find myself sitting behind this steering wheel, this beautiful blue steering wheel with the big wings of the Bentley thing, and I can't believe it. I cannot believe that I'm driving this, and it's again, this specific car is not a dream car, but it is representing how quick my life is changing. This is not my car; it has been loaned to me, but how quick my life has changed and how quick the channel is changing, and so I want to say thank you, of course, to everyone that's following along, and it's really exciting to get stuff like this. But, of course, I'm not going away from the Commodores and Falcons, because those are really my bread and butter. And as much as I like this car, and I actually do like this thing, the reality is I can't afford to buy this or maintain it or anything like that. So I wanted to give my perspective of driving a Bentley from a normal person's perspective. I'm a normal dude. I like Commodores. I'm a carpenter. I'm a tradie. So it's quite unusual for me to drive a car like this. So first impressions on the interior, it's very nice. It feels extremely nice, and it's got this beautiful blue leather all over the joint, and it matches the color of the outside, which I'll show you later. But it's like this dark blue. It does have the thing over there, the key in the dash, and it's got a lot of stuff that wasn't normal in a car in 2004. So, for example, a color screen, it's got electronic handbrake, it's got heated seats. I mean, this is stuff that might not be so fancy today, but 20 years ago, that stuff was not normal. And I love that all of the beautiful timber dash and this clock, and it's really nice. It's a really nice place to be. It's a really nice car, and I have talked a lot of rubbish about Euro cars, and this car has really won me over. However, it is a bit of a holiday romance, because, of course, I don't have to pay to maintain this car, which is one of its biggest downfalls, because it is not cheap to maintain this car. Obviously, twin-turbo, W12, and very European, very up markets. It's not going to be cheap. But enough talking. Let's start it. So I do have to put my foot on the brake, start it like this. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but it's got all of these analog things here, and another thing as well. Actually, you'll see it there. Another thing that I love is that you can wind the windows down, and you just have this beautiful big oval. But we're not going to do that, because all you're going to hear is wind noise. But yeah, and just the headlining and all of the beautiful cream leather. It's gorgeous, this thing. It really is a good looking car. And again, it hurts me to say, because I've talked a bit of rubbish about European cars. And I do stand by that, a little bit of that. The maintenance is an issue. Actually, let's... Alright, so we just did a 0 to 100. I wasn't fully flat-footed, but again, that's not what really this car is about. I just wanted to just do one. This car is more about cruising, relaxing, and in total comfort. There is no springs. Oh, that's the other thing. You can adjust the height of the suspension on the dash here. You can adjust the, how, what do you call it, the dampers, and it's just, it's really special. It's a really, really special car. And one thing that it does as well is, these have depreciated, so they're probably not worth as much, as they look, but they're still expensive. But these cars look much more expensive than they really are. They look properly expensive, and when you're driving it around, you are getting a lot of looks, a lot of attention, whether that's good or bad, if that's what you want, but either way you're going to get it. And I have to admit, and I know this sounds so egotistical, I do like that attention. I do like it. I don't know if I'd like that 24/7, but as a little one-off, while I've had this a few days, I do like it. I do like it, and I wish that I could say that I don't, but that wouldn't be the truth. It's a beautiful car, this thing, and I know that I always say this, it just drives so smooth, so relaxing, and the steering wheel is gorgeous. I really do like it. Obviously, cruise control, aircon, all of that stuff. One thing that I'm not the biggest fan of is this whole setup here. The screen is a very early 2000s. It's very difficult to navigate, and because of the rarity of this car, I'd imagine it's not quite so easy to get, aftermarket stuff. But it does work. Everything works, so I can't be that I can't be that harsh on it. So this one has 105,000 kilometers on it. And at the moment it does have an error on the dash for tyre pressure sensors, but that's okay. But yeah, this thing is quite quick, and it is really cool to experience a V12. Again, like I said before in the intro with the Top Gear stuff, how often do you drive a V12? It's extremely rare, especially, in my circle. I'm not from wealth at all. My family's okay, but we're definitely not driving Bentleys and Aston Martins and things like that. So it is, I am extremely conscious of the fact that me driving this is crazy, and I am enjoying every second of it. Again, like I said though, it's a holiday romance. The cost to maintain this car is crazy. It really is significant, and that should not be ignored if you were going to buy one. But we're not worrying about that in this little video. So the interior is just such a fantastic place to be, and I really love just all the little details, like this opens and closes the dash, these mechanical these mechanical things like that, and I don't know, everything you touch feels expensive. This car feels expensive, and for the price they are today, I could understand it, probably around 100k for a good one. And you do feel that in here. It does feel expensive. Just all of the buttons and touch points. And one thing I will show you soon when we pull over in a minute or whatever is the doors are huge. I really love the doors. They're enormous. And yeah, just driving around, the exterior styling of this thing, it's phenomenal. And again, I had a look before I recorded this video. So this, I'm not extremely familiar with the Continental GT, which is what this is. I believe it makes about 415 kilowatts, if the one I read is correctly, at the crank. But it weighs a lot, 2.2 tons from memory. So it is quick, but there's something about this car, it doesn't really want to do that. You can drive it and you can feel, yes, it can do it, but it doesn't want to. It doesn't want to. It just wants to be a nice, relaxing cruiser. And the last car I drove on the channel was a VS GTS. That car was a bit different because I know that it's really an odd comparison of VS GTS and this Bentley, but the value is actually quite similar. But that car, because it's in recent memory, it wants you to be a bit silly in it, but this car doesn't want you to do that. It's got a bit of personality. It's got a bit of soul. I know that sounds lame, but it's true. It wants to be, it wants to be shown off, but it's also kind of subtle. Also, a beautiful day to be doing this, tell you that. I'm looking forward to having the windows down again. But I really thank you guys, and especially my follower that lent me this car. You know, I don't even know what to say. Like, this is just crazy. It's having these kind of cars on the channel is genuinely a dream come true, and I'm definitely never going to go away from my cheap old Commodores, because those are my bread and butter, and I do like those more than I like this car. However, driving one of these every now and then on the channel, and just to keep things interesting, and just trying other cars, even, you know, like a cruiser like that, or whatever it is. It could be a mint old Mitsubishi Magna. I would be into that as well. So if you guys have any cars like this, you know, it doesn't have to be a Bentley, of course. It could be a Toyota Corolla from the 80s. That would be totally cool with that. And of course, I don't expect anything for free. I will pay you for your time, money and effort, and as I think you should. And I don't know, I know that it's not a Commodore, but I'm sure that you guys can understand that if you get a chance to drive something like this, it is really difficult to say no. This is a really special car, and I love it. I do really like it, but again, I'm not paying for the maintenance. So what we're going to do is I'll pull over in a second, and we will have a look at the outside of the car, and I think that is one of its best features. It is a fantastic looking car, and it really does not look 20 years old. So let's pull over and I'll give you a look. All right, we have pulled over now, and I'm just going to have a look and show you guys the outside of this thing. And I mean, look at this thing. It is beautiful. It really is a great looking car. It does run a little bit runs the fans after you've been driving it for a little bit, but it is fantastic. My favourite part of the whole car though is just this whole rear corner and the arse of it. It's just gorgeous. It really is a beautiful car, and just that badge, it's really nice. I'm almost ashamed that I talk so much rubbish about this car, but I do stand by that. You know, they're expensive to run. I do love how this runs through, but yeah, just the experiencing it as a one-off really is something special. Oh, excuse my hat here, but I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. This is, again, like I said, it's something really different, something you know, I'm so not used to having something like this, and I don't really know what to say. You know, I don't do fancy car reviews. I'm normally driving VNs and stuff, but this is, I just couldn't turn this down. And if you like, not necessarily these kind of cars, mostly VNs and Falcons and stuff, but if you like these kind of cars, or you'd like something similar to this on the channel, please reach out. I would love to show more cars off, work together. Again, you know, I'm a normal dude. I'm a carpenter, I'm a tradie, and I like my old Commodores. I'm not from the universe of Bentleys and Rolls Royces and, you know, Aston Martins and stuff. So I really appreciate anyone reaching out, and I truly thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much.